everybody. Welcome to this week's show. I'm Sam, and I'm joined by Jen today.
Hi, nice to see you guys.
So what are you up to?
Just all the things.
All the
just
things?
like so many emails, so many meetings. But right now, we're going to play some video games. And that's fairly exciting.
Yes. Because believe it or not, we actually don't play a lot of games at work because we just don't
We have other
time.
things to do, turns out.
All those
turns out they
meetings?
don't pay us just to play video games, which is a real bummer, but I guess it's reasonable.
Right. Okay, so today is Tuesday, but it's also the last Tuesday of August, which means it's our Throwback Tuesday show. So those of you that tuned in last month, we played Elo Milo, which is a really cute like puzzle platformer kind of type thing. There's no jumping, but it's really like a 3D
So
mind
fun.
bending.
So fun and so cute.
Really cute. This week, I'm really excited because this is actually one of my favorite games to play on the 360. Hopefully you guys have heard of it, but it's called A World of Keflings. And it's just a really adorable game where
It also looks very fun and cute. We have it up on our screen right here, and it's adorable.
So there's some micromanaging of like materials and all that, but it's just, I find it super adorable, super fun, and the music is great to like, if you've had a bad day, put on the Keflings, just like watch your Keflings do work and listen to the music. It's
like,
amazing.
I'm into this.
But that's not all. So today we're actually joined by Steve from NinjaBee Games, who actually helped work on the games and helped design them. So everybody say hi to Steve.
Right here.
Hey!
There he is. Oh, he's not actually behind us.
No.
That was a big fat lie. He's not here. But you can see him.
Yes, you guys can see him. So hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, Steve.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about this. Like, what exactly did you work on for Keflings?
Well, so for this particular project, I was the lead designer, actually. So it was a concept that I explored in a different form really early on, and then thought it would be great for live arcade. So we had already been doing a few live arcade titles and felt like this would be a fantastic experience. So we built a prototype and put together a pitch and talked to Microsoft about it and got it approved for live arcade at the time and went with it. So I had a team, my whole team working with me on it, but I was the lead designer on this game and I did some coding. On this game I did a lot of coding. This is the sequel to A Kingdom for Keflings. On that game I did less coding, but on A World of Keflings I did a lot of programming and lead design.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So I know there are people that may not know what the game is or whatever. So I do have the trailer. Yeah, like Jen. This is great though, because this way I get to show Jen all my favorite games.
Basically, you're always just going to bring me on the stream if you need like a total noob. Like it's me in everything but State of Decay.
And then that's me. So it's good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So we actually do have the trailer. So if it's okay, we're going to go ahead and run the trailer for A World of Keflings, and then we'll get into some gameplay and we can just talk about the game and have some fun.
Yeah.
I love this game. Hey, look, he's here now.
Cute. Hey, we were
did it,
lying.
see?
He showed up eventually.
All right. No, I love this game. So actually, fun fact, I was telling them while you guys were watching the trailer, that opening part where the Keflings were hopping through the cannons, if you play this game long enough, you build all your houses, you have all your Keflings. And then sometimes it can get overwhelming because you don't know where they are or what they're doing. They're just off collecting resources. And you're like, okay, I need to know who I've got, what they're doing, and where they are. So you go collect them all. We would throw them all in like cannon loops.
Are you telling me that this is the much more adorable version of Age of Empires?
Yes.
Because that does not bode well for me being good at it.
I don't think it's possible to be bad at this game.
Good,
though.
okay, good.
Like, I genuinely don't think it's possible to be bad unless you be like us and, we have your Keflings. So the Keflings, what they'll do is you can pick them up and you can go drop them on resource piles and they'll auto harvest them. If they get to one of the infinite ones, though, they'll just keep harvesting and they won't leave. I played it with my friend one day and he walked over, he goes over to this thing, he goes, oh my God, and just walked away. It's like, what happened? Like, what? He's like, just don't go over there. Puka, no, don't go over there. It's like, why? And I went over, there was like a stack of like 5,000 gemstones or something. And I was like, okay, nope, I'm good. I'm
Too much of a mess. I'm just gonna go over here.
So,
Should we hop in and play?
Yeah.
Do you want to play? And I'll keep an eye on chat.
you haven't played, so I think this might be a good way for you to learn.
All right. Is this the beginning of the game, or am I just gonna?
So we've got a game started up. This is about 10-15 minutes into the game itself. It's nothing crazy. And Steve is actually in my game. You can see him.
Holding
He's
a person.
Yep.
Seems very, very mean.
So the whole point the point of Keflings is basically there's different missions. Yeah, you actually want to pick her up and talk to her.
All right.
So here's an example of what part of the game is.
Oh. Prize from the cauldron.
Oh, she gave us a potion.
That was my whole quest. This is great. Stuff will make you strong enough to push a building. That seems important. I saw that happening in the trailer. All right, so I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, pick it
I
up.
can kick it. Can I? Oh.
Oh no, hang on. We'll get to that though. Pick up one of the little people standing here. Okay, now kick them.
I don't want to kick him. I just kicked him right on top of that house.
So
Why do these people listen to us?
We're way bigger than them, and they love us. So
that's
those
true.
are two really good reasons.
We're benevolent giants.
Yep.
Yes.
So, World of Keflings is a little like in Kingdom of Keflings. I think we started out. The differences in that one were that you had like 3 or 4 different map styles, not necessarily worlds.
Right.
So you could start out with your basic, flat map or whatever. Then there was ones that had like different pathing and all that. But this one, the plot of this one is that definitely you start out in the Ice Kingdom, which if you wanted to, we can go back to that because I did move on. We're currently in the Forest Kingdom. We're trying to help the princess.
Right.
But so basically what you want to do is you want to grab all these little Keflings. Yeah, you want to grab one of them
Grab everybody.
and drop them on a resource pile.
Like this?
Sure.
All right.
And now they'll have a little hat.
Oh yeah.
And now they're working.
Miner hat.
Yeah. There
Drop
you
down
go.
that- well, I got this.
Drop them on the sheep. Oh wait, can we shear yet?
Oh, well, let's see.
Nope.
Nope.
We don't have the shears yet.
Well, here. We'll just go on
So-
those rocks.
So Steve, you mentioned that, we talked about this a little bit. There's a lot of improvements that were made, like quality of life stuff that was made between Kingdom for Keflings and A World for Keflings.
Honestly, I keep forgetting how much there is. I was trying to make a list for you, and then I was thinking about it later, and there's so much more. I think you'll be interested. You're both producers, right? I think you'll have exposure to this idea that we kind of, our eyes were too big for our stomach, I guess. We designed way too many new features for the second game. So the list of improvements from the first game to the second is a little embarrassing. It's
Oh,
crazy.
that's the cake.
Some of the stuff is obvious and really needed to happen, and some of it's just like, man, I don't know what we were thinking. So the list is like 50 things long of big new features that we changed.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things is like when you go to the can you click on that one, Jen? Can you click on it? So when you go in here, like when you're looking at your blueprints and everything, because in order to build stuff, just like an actual contractor, you need blueprints.
Gotta know how to do it.
Right, you gotta have your parts and everything. I think my favorite thing is that it'll tell you how many of each one you need, whereas in the first one I was constantly bouncing in and out of the menus to figure it out. So like in a simple building it's not so bad, but when you would get up to like the palace and like the expansions,
like all right, I need 50 logs and 10 rocks and I don't know, some people.
Each you need like 50 stones, 10 logs, 15 crystals for each part, but how many parts do I need?
Right.
So at this point, I think we probably want to start putting materials into the factory building.
Yes.
So when you go find those, go ahead.
So we can. We've had people here collecting resources,
Yes.
but of course we also don't want to have to lug them around ourselves. So we can find a Kefling that's not busy doing something. I can pull their little hat off and say, "You're not a miner anymore. Now you're delivering." So I can drop this person on a pile of stones, and then pick them back up again, and then drop them on the factory, and then they'll just run back and forth between that pile and the factory.
Oh.
So that's their job now, is delivery.
Handy. All right.
So
And I built a couple of pieces here that these guys are carrying around, and we can start wherever you want to build see, that wasn't the factory, that was the workshop. So we want to build a factory, and you can tell me where you want to build it. We can start putting these pieces down.
Oh.
pick a spot.
How about right here?
All right, great.
So
Try
also,
right here.
if you go ahead and grab one of the go grab the chimney from this guy.
Yeah, just take it away. Yep,
It
good.
automatically shows you where it needs to go for the blueprint.
That's handy.
Yeah, that's also a very nice one. It was always the worst, like putting everything down, and then I put it in the wrong spot. Hang on, I have to move everything because now I can't get there.
Like,
so this is a
oops.
really cool little touch to it.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the hats.
Okay.
Why are Keflings wearing hats? Like what? Like why did that become a thing?
Well, you got to know what they're
almost
doing.
Every decision in the game, we tried to understand how it would really feel in a real world of Keflings. So we could have just somehow through UI indicated what their job was, but we wanted to do it in the world. So the hat is just a piece of UI. It just happens to be in 3D space instead of on top of the on top of your HUD. So it's just an indicator of what their job is.
So
And then we said, well, as long as that's the indication of what their job is, then the way that you take away their job is you should pull their hat off. So you just pick them up and pop their hat off, and that resets their job.
There we go. Jen's figuring. But Jen, he doesn't know where to go with the rocks.
Oh shoot! Right.
You have to tell him where to go.
Over
There you
here.
go. Good. And there's a couple
one,
more.
that's
We
a
need
lumber
2 more
mill.
pieces.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
Great.
So actually,
And then
Jen
if you want, Jen, you could build the next 2 pieces for the factory. They're in the workshed there that you were just looking at. So it should show you which 2 you need, and you can build 2 more. One of the big changes from the previous game is these helper guys. So obviously we're starting a little bit farther into the story. In the Ice Kingdom, it was introduced who they are and what they're doing. But this is Bob and Doug, these little guys here, and they will just pick up the stuff and carry it for us.
Bob and Doug.
And the reason, that's one of the biggest frustrations for me in the first game was that you could build all the pieces, and then if you were building your building on the other side of the map, you just had to walk back and forth, and it was so tedious. So almost their entire job is just to carry stuff over to wherever you're building, and they do that job great.
So
Nice.
actually,
That does seem very helpful.
while we're talking about the Keflings and what they do, though, there is Jen. If you can walk up towards to the right by those the logs up there, go look at the yellow one, the one with the yellow arrow above her head.
Oh, has she been upgraded?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nope. You have to
Oh.
hit her on the head to upgrade her.
Well, wait. Why can't I just press X?
That's hitting her on the
Oh,
head.
great. Okay. Oh. Good. All right. Yeah. You go. You keep chopping logs. You do them real good.
So, I think the building that you just built, I think needs a Kefling, right? It needs what do you call a person who works in a factory?
Worker.
Well, is there not I mean, you know what
There's probably an actual term. For
Yeah.
it, but all right, you're busy. Who's not busy? Everybody's busy.
Here, you can take this little guy right here. He's just sitting there.
Boop.
There you go. Now kick him into it. You can kick him into the building.
That's a good trick. Advanced gameplay. Kicking Keflings into the building. Sam's an expert.
We
I
have a
may have
new
played this a little bit.
thing.
So actually, Steve, there's a question from the chat. The Wet Chef, which great gamer tag. I like it. What was your favorite, like, when you were developing the game? Like, what was your favorite, oh my god, wait, that actually worked kind of thing that came up? Like, was there any moment that stands out as like, this was ridiculous, I can't believe that actually panned out?
That is a good question. I can think of some things that did not work. And I can think of, the very, very first example is, did this concept of me being a giant and picking up buildings and physically placing them, is that fun and is that interesting? So that was way back before the first game. We had wanted to build a city building game. I really like city builders and city simulations, but we had this idea of I am a giant and I'm physically building it, and we didn't know if it would be fun. So we built a prototype and played it, and we were like, nope, that is definitely fun. We like it. It's good. Although there's a really interesting sort of a tangent on that, which is, it is fun and it is interesting, but this game is so non-violent and so much non-conflict that there were people on the team who said, I don't know if that without conflict that it will stay fun. And that was something that took us much, much, much longer to confirm that it was fun to play and great, even though you're not killing wolves or fighting off invaders or anything. And that's a much, much longer discussion. I think it's pretty interesting. But so that's one example, is just, does it work at all? Oh, here's a better one. Avatars. In the first game, we designed, prototyped, pitched the game. Do you know Cherie Lutz by any chance? She was at Microsoft Studios for a long time, so I'm not sure if you know Cherie.
I'm not totally sure. Depending how long ago, it's kind of been.
Yeah.
So it was a long time ago. This was like, I would say, this is 10 years ago, maybe 11. We had been working with her for a while and working on projects, and we pitched this game, and she liked it, and it got approved. Although I think that had a lot to do with David Edery at the time too. And we had built our own giants. We designed our own giant characters, and they're really stylized and unique. And this was before avatars existed. So Cherie came to us and she said, we're doing this whole new avatar program. It's brand new, and it might be interesting for Keflings. And we said, I don't know. I don't think so. We've designed our own giant characters, and they're really customized and really cool. And I don't think we want to do the avatar thing, but I promise we'll look at it. We'll do a mock-up for you. So we put together a mock-up. So we were sure that it was not going to look good and that we didn't want to do it. But we took some avatar renders that they had, and we put them in a mock-up in our game. And we looked at the mock-up and said, oh my goodness, it's obviously the right thing to do. It is obviously right. And so that was an OMG moment for sure. We were sure that it was not going to work. And we looked at a mock-up and said, obviously this is what we need to do. So we went back to Cherie, and in the meantime, she changed her mind. She said, oh no, we changed our mind. We don't really want this. We don't want avatars in your game. We're going to go a different direction. We said, Cherie, you have to look at this mock-up. So she looked at the mock-up and she said, nope, you're right. That looks fantastic. We're going to do it. So that was how avatars got in the game, even when we thought they wouldn't. So that was a big shift in thinking for us, and pretty exciting.
Awesome. It's really fun. When I used to play this, my friends and I would kind of have like little mini contests. We would like load in and but in the meantime, we would have changed our avatar outfits, because obviously they're here, but there are some avatar costumes on the old 360 avatar store that are really kind of creepy. The Cortana one comes to mind, believe it or not. She's like all in blue and sparkly and really weird. That I would like put those on and get in the game, and my friend would be like, oh my god, why? And he would just like walk away, spend the whole time walking. I would leave and change. But no, I think the avatar stuff, I think it's just fun because it really feels like you. But of course there is the option to have, I think, giant Keflings, or is that only in the first one? I can't remember. I've always just used my avatar because I like it.
No, you're right. That's right. In the first game, you could switch to be giants. Not giant Keflings, but they were the original design giant characters that we did before we put in avatars. So in the second game, we were way into avatars, and we said, no, we're not even going to support that. But in the first game, you could actually pick the original giant characters that we had built.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need a house.
We do need a house.
We need two houses.
How do I build it?
So you go to the factory. Or the workshop. Yeah, you need to go to the workshop and build the parts. You don't put the heart in the workshop.
Do you have your, you have the house selected as your blueprint, so that's great. And then we're going to need
and
hearts as well, which
So
we'll find the hearts in the world. And I know there's one in the bottom left, so I'm kind of working
There's
on that.
also
I have to
some
dig
over
my
here.
way to it. And
Yeah,
then
there's
you've
actually-
collected
She
a
gave
couple,
us
yeah.
a couple.
yeah, we got 2
That's
from
good.
the king. So just build.
All right, so what I need is these things with
Yep.
gold things.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can actually queue up more since you can build 2 houses.
Yeah, because I need 2 of them.
Yep. Yeah.
Yay!
So
Give me that chimney.
I don't actually know. Somebody else in chat wants to know what, like, was there a reason for in the second Keflings allowing them to basically have a voice and have a story versus just, you know, building and all that, or is it just a natural? I mean, to me, it feels like a natural evolution kind of the first one a little bit. So to me, that makes sense. But
Yeah, it's all about, it was absolutely an evolution from the first one. It's all about the quests. So we liked the quests in the first game, but they didn't have any character really. The king just sort of said, do this thing and you go do it. And it's fun from a sheer gameplay mechanic point of view, but it didn't have a lot of character. So the idea that you're still going to get quests, but it's going to be told as part of a story was pretty appealing to us. And we reached this huge inflection point during development where we said, is this going to be a completely open world, random environment, different every time you play, or is it going to be a story that has a beginning and an end and feels like a particular set of progression and a particular victory when you complete it at the end? And we actually argued about that a lot and then decided we liked the second one because of all the characters. So everything about this game from the start, even from the first game, is about happiness above everything else. And so we said, a phrase that we used was ridiculously happy. Everything is ridiculously happy. And the reason the music is the way it is because we gave that exact direction to the composer and said, insanely happy. And he said, I can do it. And he delivered music that we were super happy with. So that story is part of it. We wanted to tell a really happy story that had a lot of upbeat notes and helps the player feel that sense of happiness. And that's also why there's no direct, obvious conflict in the game. You don't fight things, you don't kill things. That's not what the game is about. And like I mentioned, there were people on the team early on who said, I don't know if I'm not familiar with games that do that, and it seems questionable. And we had to build the game halfway and let them play it before they said, nope, I get it. I love this game even without conflict.
yeah, no, I think that's actually that's really good insight. I never really thought about it that way, but it definitely is just a happy game that everything about it to me is great. And like I said, the music alone, especially in the first one, I really liked we would load it up just to kind of listen to the music if you had a bad day. But when it changes seasons and everything, it's all just great. And Jenn is turning into a little homemaker, literally. But see, look how many Keflings you have. Do you see how it's possible to start to get a little?
I guess with every house you get more, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because every house will give you 2
There you go.
Keflings.
I should probably assign them tasks. And then I have to tell them where to go.
Yep.
Keep forgetting that part.
But yeah, being able to move everything and reassign everything the improvements in this one, you're right, are definitely doesn't change the gameplay, but it changes the enjoyment of the gameplay.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah, it makes it just a little bit easier to just go and have fun.
Yeah, Elk
Yeah, I
sings
think
along with the music. Yeah, same.
So we had some rough edges, I think, in the first game that are smoothed out. And like I mentioned, we went a little crazy in the second game, and there's stuff that I don't think was more work than it was worth. But then there are things like the builders, the big heavy Keflings that help you build stuff, worth every second we spent on them. They make the game so much more fun. The upgrade system, I think, is really fun. There's so much new stuff in the new game that turned out really good.
I like that in the first one, or in this one, like you actually have to get Bob unfrozen. He somehow got himself stuck somewhere and is just frozen solid. It's a block of ice.
Yeah, it seems fine.
So you have to just pick him up and carry him. So they bring you pieces, but you could actually carry him if you really wanted to. I think you probably should mine some, somebody mine some crystals.
I think I thought I assigned someone to that, and then I just didn't. Oh, wait, no, there she is. All right.
So
I stole, she's got the right hat, I think. I stole a bunch of Keflings and put them at the bottom to try to dig out where I think there's another heart, but you can come steal them if you want. One of the funny things about playing multiplayer is that we've noticed you can play with up to 4 people, And we've noticed that there's plenty of room in the game for people to do very different things. There tends to be somebody who's really focused on the tech tree and building buildings, and there's somebody who's just managing Keflings. If there's somebody not doing something, they go grab that Kefling and reassign them. And there's somebody else who's just building houses in order to get more Keflings, and somebody who's working on quests. So there's always something for somebody to do, which turned out really well for multiplayer in particular, especially if you have a preference for something. I like earning more Keflings, then I'm going to build houses. Or I really like managing Keflings, so I'm going to manage the ones that I already have.
Yeah.
What does your shirt say? It says troll.
Oh, yeah. So, here,
Yeah,
let's
what
see.
does your shirt say?
If you zoom in, I think it's, yeah. It says troll.
Troll,
Because
alright.
that pretty much describes how my friends and I play games like this.
Also, I am very into your lovely high-heeled shoes. What's this? I have Newt. That's weird.
Oh, you found an upgrade. I do like all the upgrades and stuff. Like, we're in the first one,
Oh,
to walk
witch's
faster, you had to, like, find shoes, I think, if I remember. And to be stronger, you would find a belt. But in this one, I like that you get the upgrades periodically like this.
Yeah,
So-
I'm
Build a
impressed
witch's
that you know the first one so well. That's right. We had upgrades, but they were really basic. And in the second game, they're way more integrated with the story and a lot more interesting and a lot more varied.
Yeah. No,
Avenue right there.
I played quite a bit. So I think you can even kick the sheep.
Why would I kick a sheep?
Kick it. Because you can.
Because you can. The first game, I think maybe you could kick them and they went straight up and down.
Yeah,
because
I think
they didn't want.
I think they just, like-
sheep is a big change. In the new game.
I think they just made a little noise, like, "Meh," or something.
Yeah.
So,
I need you to stop digging that crystal and to pick up this other whatever. Just take it over there myself. I don't care.
You want her to stop? I can reassign one of those. What do you want her to do?
She's one of them's just making a giant pile, and the other one is not taking it over there. She's just
Oh, yeah,
also
he wants
also
to
digging
deliver.
it.
Oh,
Just couldn't see.
So-
one thing that the game forces you to learn early on is that if you hit the B button, it will switch your target.
yeah.
So you can hit until you're targeting a Kefling, and then you can pick her up and reassign her. I'll let you do it.
That's helpful. All right,
Or
I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that I like in this one too is you guys added emotes to the game. I am a
Yeah.
big fan of emotes, especially some of the ridiculous ones. And you unlock, so I've already got a bunch of them unlocked because I've been playing, but you unlock them by playing the
Ah, you
story.
died.
Like in the first, you actually unlock the dragon one in the very first world because you have to scare the dragon away. So if you hold up on if you push up on the D-pad,
Uh-huh.
they're your
Oh
emotes.
my gosh! Wait, where's the dragon? I've found it.
So that was what you had to do was scare the dragon away. So that's why that emote is a kind of a shooing sort of thing.
That is
Yeah.
adorable. And I
So
love it.
I don't know if it's good. Hold up on the D-pad again.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the one that looks like the arrows with everybody in to the right. Yeah.
So some of these emotes actually do a thing. So that
Yep.
one calls all the Keflings in, even if they're busy doing something. So it's a way to say, I would like to, I need to, I have way too many people mining wood or whatever, so I'm just going to call them all in and grab one and take their hat off and reassign them.
Or
So they're
to
probably-
see what, or to see what they're
or to
doing.
see what they're doing, sure. Yep. So there are probably, 4 or 5 emotes, you may know better than me, Sam, that actually that change the world. They scare the Keflings away or call them in or whatever.
Yeah, you can scare them if you go back towards the center where you were, Jen.
Uh-huh.
And then I think there's like a fainting one.
Yes, I did see you fall over earlier.
I don't remember which one it
it's
is.
probably this one.
Yeah, it'll actually cause things to shake and then they stop. I'm like, what?
Oops, I didn't. Well, okay.
So, no, and then there's some that I have yet to unlock and I don't know how to unlock them.
Yeah, I happen to have
gotta
them all.
keep
So
trying.
I don't know which ones you have. So if you wouldn't mind, Jen, if you could bring that menu up again so I can see
Yeah.
what you've got. I'm watching the stream and okay, so it looks like you're just missing a few on the right and one on the top. Oh, and several on
Yeah,
the
we
bottom.
got
Okay,
it.
great. So this is really interesting. The ones at the bottom, there are 3 at the bottom. One of them, and that are unlocked from other games. Oh, and there's at least one on the right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if you play the other game and get an achievement in that game, then it will unlock these emotes for you, which
Oh,
was
awesome.
a thing we were yeah, it was a whole new idea, something we were exploring. Chad Long and Kevin Hathaway were really into the idea, are the people we were working with to make who were at Microsoft Studios working with to make the game. That was something that they were really interested in. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. So what those games are is, on the bottom is Ancients of Uga and Band of Bugs, which is another game that we made.
Oh,
and then
okay.
and then Splosion Man, which was made by Twisted Pixel. We're good friends with those guys and huge fans of their work, and so we unlock an emote in the game if you have achievements in Splosion Man. And then on the right, it's, I think, A Kingdom for Keflings, and then Cloning Clyde, which is another game that we made, and then Outpost Kaloki, which is another game that we made.
Awesome.
So those are all the games. If you play those, yep.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was something like that, because there is an Elo Milo one, which I do have because I have that game. Like, yeah, you can build their little nook.
Oh, that's
Yes.
And then
that
maybe
was
they won't
way
get lost
bigger.
as often if they live in the same house. That's so cute.
It's true. They live right next to each other in the world of Keflings. They don't get lost at all. They never have to solve any puzzles to find each other. They're right there, and you can kick them around. So extra bonus.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you that story too. We had been working on the game for quite a while, and so it was nearing the end, and we knew that we were going to be launching in the winter, so really close to the end. And Microsoft had this whole idea for Games for the Holidays promotion. And they said, we want you to work with these other developers. We want to put some developers together and have you unlock features in each other's games and be this cross-promotion for Games for the Holidays. And we thought that was pretty cool, and this is something that Kevin was pitching to us. And so we ended up talking to them on the phone. We talked to Halfbrick and South End Interactive on the phone and brainstormed a bunch of ideas, and each of the teams separately went back and did mock-ups of the stuff that they thought that they could add to the game. So everybody came back with mock-ups and said, we think we're going to do this. And that was one of the most positive, cooperative, community-feeling experiences that I've had working in game development. Like, nobody was thinking about themselves over everything else. They were saying, how can we work together to make something better? And it was an incredibly positive, cool experience to work with those other teams on that game. And everybody incorporated the games in their own games in different ways. So in our case, it was build houses. In the other cases, it was mostly costumes. But they did their own interpretation of it. So we gave them art, and they said, okay, we're going to make costumes that work for Elo and Milo, or we're going to make costumes that work for the Rascals. And they did all the work and integrated everything, and all we had to do was talk about how it unlocked in the different games. And I guess say, thumbs up, I'm okay with that, which everybody was. So what a great experience that was, and I'm super proud of it. So yes, if you play Rascals and if you play Elo Milo and get achievements, then you can build new buildings in Keflings and vice versa. If you play World of Keflings, then you get costumes in Rascals and Elo Milo.
That's awesome.
That really is.
I love stuff like that. I think that's really great. I see you found more Keflings to build another house.
Yep. Well, I need to build a witch's hut, but I can't find that blueprint, so I'm just building more houses.
Probably should just build the next thing on the what's the next thing on your blueprint list?
Oh, stonecutter.
All right.
All right, we're gonna do that.
That's fine. Maybe I can figure out where the witch's hut is. Oh yeah, I think they're just saying we can't build it until we build the witch's hut, but it looks like you're right. It's not unlocked yet.
We just have an Eye of Newt just chilling down here,
just hanging
which
around.
is fun.
Everybody needs an extra eye doing nothing. So you're working on the stonecutter? Because I could work on the lumber mill while you do that.
Oh, awesome!
All right.
Love it.
And do we have enough stuff going on in the work shed there? Yeah, we have lots of stuff in the work shed.
This is like Jen said, it's kind of like Age of Empires in that there's stuff to micromanage, but to me it's
no fights, which is nice because I can only ever focus on like one thing at a time on Age of Empires anyways. So I always end up like, my economy is great, and then oh no, I was murdered. So it's nice that won't happen here.
Oops. So no, but like
turn
so,
this on.
And then this is actually
Needs
not
a person.
the
Do I have to put a
Yes, you need to put a Kefling in there. So you need to go pull someone's hat off.
All right. Who? Well, I'm gonna just upgrade that lady really quick.
So this is actually in this.
Wait, you come here.
In this story, this is actually not the final world. There's a desert world after this. I think that's the last one. It's been a while since I've played through the entire thing. But there's at least 3 kingdoms. There's the Ice Kingdom, the Forest Kingdom, the Desert Kingdom. And then there's actually DLC worlds for this game, guys. There's some really cool stuff.
Really like the
So-
way the king talks. He's the stonecutters just stonecutterized something for me.
I do love, yeah.
And I need it relocatorized or something like that. That's pretty amazing.
How long did it take to come up with like some of the dialogue stuff for this? Like to keep it silly and lighthearted?
Way too long. So we did. So I would say all of the dialogue in the game is from me and Jeremy Throckmorton and Mike Nielsen, two other designers who were working on it. But we actually hired a guy to help us out. It was so much work. So we hired a friend of mine, and he wrote the dialogue for the king actually as well. So I think like I wrote all of the princess dialogue, and Mike Nielsen wrote all of the Ratbeard dialogue. And Ratbeard still just makes me laugh anytime I listen to his quests or watch him talking about something. He's so funny. And and the Rockstar character, which we did for the Avatar Fame Stars feature, Mike wrote all the dialogue for the Rockstar too, and he makes me laugh.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's funny, but it also like it still gives you that sense of, hey, this is the story, but it's super lighthearted in that, you know, hey, you can figure it out. Yeah, he's being silly, but that's just the Kefling way, I guess.
They are all ridiculous. They're all kind of ridiculous.
Yes,
in the
never
best way.
really 100%. Yeah, they're never really 100% sane or rational. They've all got their really strange little way of thinking about things, which is just definitely just part of the game. I think really that just came down to Mike and I are in a room and we're just writing dialogue, and he says something funny and I laugh and we write it down, and it never really turned into, it was never really like, this has to be super funny or this has to be super serious. Mike just said a lot of stuff that made me laugh and we put it in the game. So
Nice. Is that how you liking it?
Alright. I like it. I could play this forever. This is chill and fun.
Can you hear the music and
I
stuff?
can. It's really nice.
So
I'm really glad to hear the word chill. It's just such a big deal to us. We just wanted people to just be able to play at their own pace. So that's another thing that we never ever put in the game was a timer or a time limit. There was one of the designers working on the game.
there is a timer. It will tell you how long you have spent in the game.
Oh right. Sorry, I meant a time limit, a countdown timer. So yeah. Are you embarrassed by that timer, Sam?
I can neither confirm nor deny that some of the worlds that we have played have had multiple hours and hours.
Yep. If you look at your saved file list, then it will show you how many hours. And I have games I've spent a lot of time on, especially in a multiplayer. We're just going to hang out and play kind of setting. It's easy for the hours to rack up. So there was a designer who was saying, I want to put features in the game, but you have to do this thing by this amount of time. And it comes back to that core principle. As a game designer, you have to say, what is the soul of my game? And everything that I do to this game has to support that soul and support the pillars that are the key parts of the game. And the soul of the game is it's happy and upbeat and cooperative and easygoing. And so we said, timers just don't make sense there. So we never put in time limits. You just do whatever you want to do at the pace you want to do it. And if you want to come back, go do something else for an hour and then come back and talk to a person and find out what quest it was that they gave you, then great, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer experience ties into that really nicely, I think. So there are people who, I don't think they're really even playing the game. I think they're really just chatting. It's sort of a chat room. But while they're chatting, then they're walking around and smacking Keflings on the head. And it's just their excuse to just kind of chat as friends. And we found a lot of groups that play like that, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
I do like that you can I don't know how many games you can find out there right now, but if for those of you that play it, you can actually open up your game to be joinable. I don't believe this one is joinable to anybody but friends, but I guess you're welcome to try to join if it is. Yeah, so you can just kind of hop into a random game, go help out, or I mean, we've opened up our game before and had people break down some. You can kind of troll each other sometimes by breaking down buildings, and hence my shirt. So, it happens. So
no, that's totally true. We were really worried about that. We talked about implementing a really complicated system where you could only some people could have certain permissions, and I think we ended up adding something like that later on at post launch. And I'm pretty sure that banner towers. One of the things you can do in the game is build a banner tower that represents you, that shows your gamer picture on it. So you can come into a world, build a banner tower, and leave. But it has a way to access your gamer card on it. So you could have 50 banner towers from all the players that came and were part of your experience and left. And I'm pretty sure you can't destroy a banner tower unless you're the owner of the game.
I think
so we did make it.
I'd forgotten about the banner towers. That was actually one of the fun things. Jen, you may need to go to the other workshop. Yeah, this is where it gets. So this is one of the things. My friend is very, very much into organizing, and this happens in Minecraft too. He's very organized. I am very not. But he would make sure that like the workshop, the sculptor, the wall constructor, like all the lumberjack, that they were all in like one area. Like this is the industrial zone.
Mine's everywhere.
The houses were like neatly arranged in a row. And it'd be one of those things. He would be like off to the side. I'll go up and I'll like move the little house a little bit just to kind of see if he'd notice, because you can move things.
To be fair, if I think if I had started at the beginning and I was like, okay, this is gonna be my village forever, it would be like that. I would be like, no.
Oh, but it's my world, so
straight
it doesn't
lines. I need. Also, I didn't know how many things I was going to be building, to be fair.
Yeah, it adds up. But that's the thing that surprised, like, I think I forget, is that how many things add up. And then you have to keep track of where your Keflings are putting your materials, because maybe they're putting them all at the lumberjack, but you don't need planks, and then you have to wait. And it can get over. Do you see what I mean by it can get overwhelming with all the Keflings?
Yes, I do.
And that's why we think in a multiplayer game it's pretty fun for one person to say, yeah, that's my job, is managing Keflings. It also turns out that the number of Keflings, it felt for a minute there like we had too many, right? They were all over the place.
Yeah, they were swarming.
Suddenly we need them to deliver from raw rock to cut stone, and then deliver the cut stone to the buildings, and suddenly we need all the Keflings and we need more. So one of the pressures for me in the game, or I guess motivations, is to be constantly building new houses, and when you get more advanced houses, building those so that we have enough Keflings so that the economy can be running as smoothly as we want it to.
Oh yeah, because you can upgrade in this one. You can build a cottage, I think, after the house, which gives you 4, right? From the cottage heart. Yeah.
And then there's a mansion after that. I think the cottage is maybe 3 and the mansion is 4. I'm embarrassed to say. Now, in my defense, this game is 8 years old, but I think it's maybe 3.
Yeah, and then
there are different kinds of houses in each kingdom, which I think is pretty interesting too.
Yeah, and then you the worst part about, like, with all the Keflings that you get and then don't get, is that anytime you build a merchant or a factory or whatever, you lose your Kefling. Because they're
assigned to that job. Yeah.
Yep. So that's one of the things you just kind of gotta remember. Jen is much nicer than me. I'd be kicking them all over the place.
Whereas I'm like, I can't kick people.
Honestly, my impression is Jen is really good at this game. You haven't played this before?
No, never.
Oh, no, wow. You seem to have a really good sense of, like, you just built. I said I was going to build the lumberjack or the lumber mill, and I didn't. And you went and built it, and everything worked out great. So,
Sam was like, just look at your blueprints. And I was like, oh, that's okay. Goals, got it.
Yeah.
I'm someone who's really bad at like open world games, because I'm like, I follow the quest line, I do the quest, and then I'm like level 20, and I beat Skyrim, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to finish this. I'm not going to do any of the side quests because I already finished the main quest. Like, if you give me something to do, I will do it.
That makes a ton of sense. Well, in that case, I'm glad that we went with the story. So again, we could have said super open world, do whatever you want, Keflings, but we said, nope, we're going to go with the story. We really like the quest. We really like the character. And as a result, it's way more, it's as open as you want it to be. You can at any point stop and just do whatever you want. But it's a lot more goal-oriented, and there's usually 2 or 3 things that you could be doing at any given time. So there's, for goal-oriented people, plenty to do.
Yeah, no, I genuinely, I find this game, like, oh, look, you've already figured out that you can redirect him to drop his...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to need a lot of planks. Like a lot of planks.
So
where am I going to build this?
What is this thing that you built and just, like, dropped in the middle of nowhere?
Where? What?
That.
It's a present that we got from the sculptor. I don't know what to do with it.
Oh. Did it say when you picked it up?
Said to put it somewhere safe, but I didn't see anywhere to put it.
So you can put it wherever you want, and just so that you don't worry about it, it matters at the end of the game. So throughout the game, various things that we do, that's this punctuation in the storytelling is we'll collect little presents, and at the end of the game, then we can use the presents all at once, and that's how the game ends. And it's very cute.
That sounds adorable. That's why everybody got so excited when I picked it up. They were like, "Oh my god!" And they danced a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a punctuation moment. Like, you can do a whole lot of quests, but there are maybe 12 presents or something like that.
Oh, well, then I need to find a better place for this. It's gotta
look,
be
you found
somewhere
a gear,
special.
too.
A gear? Where? Oh, up there. In a pile of crystal, apparently. I should really
so
get somebody
we can't
on
use
there.
them yet.
No, you
Be able
can't.
to use the gears. Like,
All right. Well, all of our presents, we're just going to have a line of presents on the shore here, which might seem dangerous because what if it floods? But we're going to be fine.
yeah.
So apparently, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to tell another story, but I can tell it in a minute. What were you going to say?
No, someone in chat is saying apparently there was a bug in the first Kingdom for Keflings that would make your Keflings go super, super fast. I actually, and all the time I have played it, I have never run into that.
I need to find some
I think the only time I saw that was in a video. I'm pretty sure I saw somebody showing off that bug in a YouTube video, and otherwise I had never seen it live.
That sounds amazing, though, not gonna lie. I just see all these little zip, zip, zip. To me, I don't know, there's just something funny about that.
Another house. I need more people.
Do you have a heart, though?
It is.
Ah, crap, no.
So I tried to dig up a couple hearts, but I think all the ones I knew about are gone. We'll get hearts sometimes through quests, and sometimes they're buried under resources. So if we just dig through enough trees, we'll get hearts. And then there's some that you can see on islands, and we'll have to eventually be able to build bridges to get to
There's
them
one
and
just
get
a
the
little
hearts.
bit north of our town, but...
Yeah,
Mango
it's
says...
it's just taunting us.
My friend says I have like 500 hours in this game.
I believe
Maybe
it.
not that many, but a lot.
But like plenty.
like plenty. Yeah, so if you wanted to go back and see the ice world, you can go through that arch. Because I didn't finish the ice world, I just got enough to build a thing and
We could
move
do
on
that.
through. But
I'm so close to...
yeah, keep going. You're doing
You
good.
go there, and then over here, because we're gonna need some planks.
So you can actually also assign Keflings to move planks between the two.
Yeah, but I mean,
So.
I don't have time for that.
So, yeah, so some people, including people on my team, have really strong opinions about how you should play this game. So of course we don't impose any of that on the player, but people who play it eventually develop their theories about what's the most effective thing to do. Some people who are very goal-oriented, like I don't want to waste a single block, I need it to be handled correctly, will say things like, all Keflings should be harvesting, no Keflings should ever transport, and that's, I think, a pretty aggressive stance to take. But if that's the way they want to play the game, then that's all right.
That seems like a lot of work to me, because that's a lot of back and
I agree.
forth to like move all your stuff, especially from the far side of the map. It's gonna take forever.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I agree. Their theory is, though, that way they get that the Keflings do what they're good at, and I do what I'm good at. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I mean, to be fair,
I
that
don't
is
play
why
that
I'm
way 'cause
picking
it's not
these
as-
up. Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to walk all the way over to those trees that are halfway across my town, but I can walk this 3 feet to bring the planks over here.
Absolutely.
Oops, what did I
And if
pick
you
up?
did
Rocks.
And if you did reorganize your city to be where those things were closer to each other, then it would be a shorter walk. And a lot of people do that too. Like, I'm going to have a stonecutter right next to the stone source so that it's a short walk, and then I'm going to have the factory that takes the cut stone right next to the stone cutter, and everything's very carefully arranged. But honestly, I don't think anybody would do that at first. They would play the game, start to figure that out, and then maybe a second or third playthrough they'd have their perfect version of the city layout.
And that's why I'm assuming why you can push buildings around, apparently.
Yeah. I don't think you could do that.
That
I don't
was-
think you could do that in the first one. I think that's new.
Yep, and I would even say it's a little bit buggy in this game. Honestly, you can do it. It's not. I don't think it's super pretty, and sometimes weird glitches happen. It's really strange. So
Try moving one.
I almost never.
He's like, no, don't show
I
it
would
off.
suggest don't move anything. I would suggest moving a house or the city hall. If you move something that has stuff attached that is like converting things, then the things get left behind and weird
That's
stuff
right.
happens.
So if you move your, like, if you have 500 rocks in your, you know, your workshop and you
Oh my
move
god,
it
just leaves a pile. Oh my god.
It just leaves a pile of rocks, and then you have to like do the shuffle
That would
thing.
take a long time. Stop running
So-
away
But
from
it
me
was
so I
a-
can upgrade you.
Upgrade you, yeah. So it was a lot worse in the first game, though. You would, if you wanted to move a building, you had to break it
Where are you even going, lady?
one by one, take every individual piece and lug it across the map and put it down where it went. And it was super confusing and super tedious, and I never ever wanted to do it.
No, I think we would
So
just
that's why
break
we
stuff
changed
down
it.
and. Oh, you kicked her into
I
the.
didn't mean to. No. Okay. Stop it, Jen. Press buttons carefully.
See, this is why kicking them is great, though. They can do other stuff.
Don't want her to gather this wool halfway across the world when she could be gathering
that's
planks.
useless.
But now you have nobody harvesting them. They're all moving them.
I
Well,
thought there
there-
was
there
one
probably
lady.
be some
I
other
moved
ones.
my harvester down here because the trees are closer.
Yes.
The sheep harvesting is kind of funny. They'll harvest from a sheep until it's all the way sheared, and then they'll wander to the next one. So sometimes
Which
they
is-
just end up at the other end of the world, and there's
Which is
not much
actually,
you can do
like,
about it because
Super helpful because I was actually wondering when I put that guy on sheep, I was like, is he just going to shear this one sheep and then never come back?
Just
Like,
over and over and over and over.
not the ideal.
So,
Okay.
so have you played like? There's what 3 DLCs for this one? There's It Came from Outer Space, Sugar and Spice, and then Zombiesaurus. Which one of those 3 would you say is your favorite one?
That's a good question. I like all 3 for sure. I had a lot of fun with all 3. I think each one of them not only is new content and new characters, a new story, and new quests, new buildings that you build, new resources that you collect, but also there's 1 or 2 unique mechanics in each of those. So in some cases you convert a building back and forth between 2 types, and in some cases you convert a resource that you can drop it somewhere else and convert it back to the previous resource, and things like that actually introduce new mechanics, which we thought was pretty fun and cool. And so I like those aspects. I love playing the game and remembering what the unique mechanics are that we added and the unique elements. There's something about Sugar and Spice. It makes me laugh a lot. It's bright and open. I like, obviously, bright and happy things. And so I like the fact that it's just obviously sickly sweet and over the top bright and happy. And although it does have an antagonist, which we didn't really put in the first game, but we did put in the DLC. Somebody who's actually, at least from a story point of view, an antagonist. So that's pretty interesting. And there's a really cool story behind that as well. We had talked about which of the DLC we were going to do, and we decided to do a contest. So we posted information about the contest and got people submitting entries to the contest, and the person who won the contest, we said, we'll put a character representing you in the DLC. So the person who won, I can't remember her name, but she won the contest, and she had ideas about how her character should look. We built a character that looked the way that she wanted it to look, and she's a major character in the Sugar and Spice story. And I don't know that we ever explained
really
that.
cool.
But if you play that story, you'll meet that character, and she was the person who won the contest.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. So, did you want to look at any of the other emotes and stuff that there are? Play
Yeah,
with
we
them?
could do that. I've gotten very distracted because there's just a huge pile of crystals up there, and
See?
I don't have anyone
Yes.
moving it.
See,
and-
so now imagine that, but it's like in the first world, especially there was like infinite ones on the edge where like they would literally just keep mining and like you didn't know, and thousands.
and then you walk down and you're like, oh my god.
yeah, I'm just gonna go the other way.
We're rich.
we don't need crystals forever.
Oops.
So
Well, eventually, if we eventually build the witch's hut, then it will convert crystals to gems.
yes.
And then we'll suddenly need crystals again because we need to convert them to gems. So there's this
Yes.
kind of building tech tree over time, which is fun.
Yep, it's pretty cool. I do love being able to rearrange your city on the fly and stuff like
It's
that.
pretty
so.
handy because, like I said, I
Yeah,
had no
for
idea
some-
what I was doing, and now I wish that I had organized better.
I mean, I didn't want to try to micromanage your micromanagement.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna take
I
this
think
lady off
they-
of crystals because we so don't need any more. No, the
The
lady.
town hall is I eventually learned that things like the town hall are not super useful. So I think in some of my games, I pushed it all the way up and around the corner at the top of the map just to kind of get it out of the way so that I can use that space more effectively.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of try to like move, like you said, the town hall, or in the first one, the castle, because you build off of that original building. I would kind of try to put it, same thing, out of the way to make sure that I could have everything else spread out in a good way.
Yeah.
So, can you believe we are almost done?
No, I can't. I don't want to stop playing this. I do not want to.
I did not even notice the time. I have so many more stories to tell.
This
It's
is
more
just
hilarious than that.
Sam, I'm gonna need you to like make me a code for this game.
Okay. Seriously, this is why I play this game, when I need to like zone out. But then it's also bad because I play and I zone out and it's like 8 hours later and I still gotta build the witch's hut.
We ran into groups who would play this game between very hardcore games. Like they're about to play Call of Duty, they're waiting for their friend to show up, and they get together and 3 of them and play Keflings until their friend shows up, and then they go play Call of Duty. It's like the anti-hardcore game, but it takes no attention and no effort, and you can just sit and chat while you're waiting to play something else.
See, we would play it after, like we would play a lot of
like a
like a come down
game,
we would play Halo or play whatever, get all stressed out, get aggravated, and they're like, okay, no, we're let's go play Keflings. We're done. Let's just go hang out and
chill,
relax, and hey, look, the witch wants to talk to you.
Well, lady, I don't need any more quests. I'm gonna have to stop playing, and I just really want to stop this one Kefling from chopping down these trees that I don't need.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to add, Steve, or are we like?
No, This has been really fun for me. I'm really glad you invited me in. Thanks very much. This is my baby. I designed this game, and I'm so proud of it. And even I've done so many games, but I've never really looked back at one with as much love and personal connection as this game. I love this game, and I'm so happy to be playing it with you.
Oh, I'm super happy. Like, I was kind of looking at our list of games. I was like, oh man, I want to do Keflings. So when I emailed in, I was like, maybe I'll get an answer, we'll see. And I was like, yay! It's totally made my day because I adore this game.
Awesome, thank you.
So, well, this has been, it's so much fun.
See, told you.
No, I love it.
I always have to ask Jen. I'm like, hey, Jen, you wanna come sit with me and talk? Let's play games.
And I'll be like, I've never heard of that game. Well, no, I heard of this, but I'd never played it. And she's like, no, it's fine. You'll be great. And I did not believe her, but it was so much fun.
See? All right. So I think that pretty much is going to wrap it up for us today. So thank you very much for joining us, Steve. Much appreciated. I was happy to have you and play some fun Keflings and show the ropes to Jen.
Yes, it was great.
I know what Jen's going to be doing for the rest of the day between meetings.
I have things to do today, but all I want to do is play this game.
No, it was fun. Everybody sticking around at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern is, as always, Tips and Tricks with Ethan and Malik. I have no idea what they're talking about today. It'll be something cool.
Fun things.
They'll give you some tips.
Funny.
They'll give you some tricks. It'll be great.
That's their whole job.
Next week we will be doing something. I think we're still trying to nail that down, but we'll be back here. We'll be back here at 12 p.m. Pacific, and we'll have something cool, something fun to play.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a great day. We'll catch you next week.
Bye, everybody.
So what does low latency mean to you?
Well, high latency would be a delay.
Delay?
Oh, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a huge thing.
This extra latency. I'm like, why?
It's so much easier for people to connect with you on Mixer because there's zero delay.
I heard about the FTL.
FTL, which is faster than light.
Right there, that feature is absolutely astounding.
Zero delay.
No delay.
It's instant.
Instant. Faster than light.
Faster than light.
It feels like our viewers are in the room with us having a real conversation.
Because it's actually live.
It's truly live.
It's live.
It's live.
I don't have to wait 10 to 15 to 30 seconds. I can...
Yes!
You don't realize until you do it how much of a difference it is.
You can immediately react to anything someone says to you.
And each person who enters your stream makes it different.
Really what Mixer's all about is connecting to the individual watcher.
To interact with the streamer and the streamer interacting back with you is crazy.
I came to Mixer because of the co-streaming feature. I discovered that I could actually play with friends in real time all on the same screen.
You can just reply right there in the heat of the moment and boom, get back right into your game.
When something happens on the stream and then they can get excited at the same time, and you're like, yes, everybody's going crazy. And it's not just like,
I've never been on a platform where you get a response like this.
that delay matters.
Latency was made for PG-13 television.
Oh.
That's what it was made for.
Preach.